Welcome to Spilled Ink.
Welcome to another edition of Spilled Ink. This week, I've got a special guest, Dave King, assistant coach at Rainier Beach. And as we get started, I have to go back to something from the dedication that Coach Mike said, is the cross-country story true?
Yes. We plotted and schemed to break the record.
Tell me how that went down. So for anyone who doesn't know, when Rainier Beach's gym was dedicated to Coach Mike a couple weeks ago, he told a story about when Dave, Jamal, and the rest of the team decided that Coach Mike got him to run cross country. And he said during the dedication that they set a national record, right, for finishing a cross country meet.
Was it national or was it world?
World. That's right.
World record, baby.
So what, like, walk me through it. How did that come to be?
Well, we plotted together, and I don't know whose idea it really was. It's probably Jamal's. Like, there's no way we're doing this. So we found a way to, what is it, that we cut through some bushes or caught a ride or caught the bus? It's 26 years old, 27 years old. Somehow we got there and we ended up breaking the record, and Coach was kind of waiting like, how there's no way that this could possibly happen for those that caught a ride in order to be, came out of the bushes and act like we were just in such deep sweat. You know what I'm saying? Poured some water in our shirts and we won that thing.
That's hilarious. So, and did you try to like make it so that everyone crossed at a different time, or did you just all cross at the same time?
It was together on three. Yes, sir.
And did you guys so the aftermath of that, was there any fallout from that? Did Coach Mike make you run, or?
Well, he was going to make us run regardless, but he seemed like he was kind of proud of us in the fact that he, with us breaking the record, because he didn't really look in too deep with it. Like we were kind of did it together. So, the whole point of kind of bonding in order to build things together. So,
and I guess that's the thing, like, regardless of how it played out, at least you guys did it as a team.
Absolutely.
And what does it say about, I am always struck whenever I'm around you guys about how, like, truly you guys are family, right? You guys, as far as I can tell, I didn't do deep research, but I can't think of a staff that has been around together longer, currently.
Yeah. It's a real family. People, when they join fraternities or sororities, because I'm learning about that. My niece just joined one, so I'm closer to what I've probably ever been to, with kind of knowing that it doesn't matter. It could be all over the country. If they have sorority sisters, that they got each other's back. So Coach Mike has built a culture there that believed family on three. We believed in what we were saying. So that's the thing that's most important.
Why do you do it, right? Like, what's your driving force for filling your role on that team?
As a coach, always wanted to be able to give back. I think I had a lot of coaching ways, honestly, as a player. And I've always been a leader of men. And I think a lot of that has been through church, where we've had to always stand up in front of people and give Easter speeches and Christmas speeches, or you're on program to do stuff as a kid. So I've learned from the church, and just when it's something that you love, it doesn't feel like it's work, really. If that, like, I love being able to help give back, and what Coach Mike did for us when we were kids, and be able to give these other young men knowledge in order to be better than us, and to be able to actually make it to, the whole goal is to be able to get them to school where it's paid for. Not a lot of inner city parents have the money to pay for college. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is to try to help these young men grow, not only as a basketball player, but as a student athlete, to be a better man when it comes to the regular walks of life. period as a whole. So I mean, I'm just giving back, man. And and I got kids that are involved in it now that are of age, you know what I'm saying, that are coming, my sons. But I've always, for the last 20 something years, I've loved being able to give back.
Mhm. Um, and I'm going to rewind it a little bit because I took the time to do this. I went back and watched y'all's 1998 state championship game in its entirety, and one, I miss that there's not a kingdom to play those games in anymore. Like that was cool. Um, and just to see that team, I mean, actually, I went to college with a guy who played on that Olympia team,
Really,
and I played Dan Hueller. I don't know if the name,
for Dan.
yeah. And so we played against, we played intramural and stuff in college, and thinking about him, and he was fine player, right? But you guys were just on another level.
Did he say what has he said about the game? If you don't mind me asking, what has he said?
You
What
know,
is
I don't think I think so. It was a long, obviously, like I'm old now, and it was a long time ago when I knew him, and I didn't obviously didn't know you guys, so we didn't really talk about it. Like I think I knew, like it reminded me, I was like, oh right, he played in that game,
right?
but we didn't talk about the game itself, right? But it was, yeah, it was sort of, because I was playing at Steilacoom High School at the time, um, and I think that was the year that we also went to state, and like looking at my team, and we were in 2A, and thinking about playing y'all would have been like we would have gotten run out of the gym.
Yeah, I it was really the thing about that Olympia game. It was like really with Mark Bigelow as the star guy for them, and with Jamal being a star guy for us, and then I was a star big, and then they had Scott Osk, which was a big time recruit going to UW,
Mhm,
big, tough kid, and so it was set like almost like the city versus the state, obviously
mhm,
in the capital, and then we're an inner city team, from the south into Seattle. To be in that position in the kingdom, it was definitely an unmatched atmosphere, is what I would say. I mean,
mhm,
it's still the most attended state championship in the history of state championships.
mhm.
So I tip my hat to that.
I mean, that was crazy to me, like looking back at it, because it was on, I don't remember what it was, Fox Sports Northwest or,
Northwest.
yeah. And Tom Glasgow, who I know really well, was on the call of that game. And so it was like a legit, and I know you can get all the games broadcast now, right? But this was full on professional, like, you're covering the Sonics, right? And to see that many people at a game like that, to me, it's sort of I love it, and it kind of makes me sad because it's just like the level of attendance is not like that currently. Like the passion for the people who are doing like helping the kids is there, but the attendance isn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean and that's the thing. Like it was really so. One of the things I think that was beautiful about it was we were 3A that year, so 3A was a week ahead of 4A.
Hmm.
So all the 4A teams were actually at the Kingdome watching because they would play in the state tournament the following week. So
Hmm.
we had literally all of the city, regardless of what high school, that was rooting for us because we were the last ones obviously there. And then they had the state where you go to Olympia, Tacoma, those areas going that way. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So Tumwater, those different places. So it was definitely a packed house because everybody wanted to be a part of that.
Hmm.
So
That was the other thing that I miss, and I had forgotten about this, was that the state tournament used to be, a whole like, there were no regional sites, right? Like it was 1 week for 3A, 1 week for 4A, and you just played the whole thing out. And I guess I sort of understand why they had to change it, but that was that was like on another level of cool.
I would love that format to come back. I mean, you got to play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's the gauntlet. It's
Hmm.
top teams in high school in the state of Washington. The regional thing, I don't really care for that because
Hmm.
it doesn't really do anything except for you just have to play on Wednesday, which that was a part of the deal anyway. Everybody played on those days, more teams got in, so it was more fan base, and 3A had its own deal. There was one court for everybody. No, there was two courts. There was two courts.
Mhm.
Championship, there was one court, but the 3A girls and 3A boys were there at the same time. And the following week, 4A followed us. So
Mhm.
I like that format better. I don't know if they have a facility that they could do it in like that.
Yeah, I mean, they could, I mean, I guess the Tacoma Dome still would be functional that way. I think it was more of a, cost benefit that, cheaper to run it at regional sites, unfortunately, you don't have the Tacoma Dome for 2 weeks, you have it for one weekend, um, but yeah, so, and going back to that game in 1998, what do you remember? Like, like, how do you remember that game going?
I remember we had took a lead, like we were up, and I thought we were about to blow them out. And just third quarter, we just didn't score very much. Turnovers, shot selection, just not staying disciplined with the game plan. And the matter of fact, they took a 1 point lead at some point in time in the fourth. And I remember hitting the play that was set up for me to shoot the free throws. It didn't bother me. I was ready for the moment. Not to say it's about me, but if my coaches are going to depend on me, in my numbers card, I'm going to be ready to do it. So
Mhm.
I feel like I was one of those players and one of those guys that Coach Mike could depend on. You know what I'm saying? And it was a big stage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that he chose me. I was happy that I was able to make him. So
I guess maybe potentially be having a different conversation now, right? If that had gone differently.
way different. Way, but
What do you I mean, like, just think about that for a second, right? Like, uh would things be where they are now had that something different happened in that game? I mean, would the momentum have continued regardless?
um, Jamal was relentless. So when he didn't feel pressure, we didn't feel pressure. Just Coach Mike let us play. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? He prepared us in the practice field to be ready for battle when game time. And
Hmm.
so I was never worried I never worried about it like that because you're really nervous going into the game. I was never nervous in the state championship. I was more nervous in the semifinals.
Hmm.
We played Mount Vernon. Um, just to be able to get there. Once you're there, you got to perform.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But the hardest part is to get there.
Yeah.
If you lose, you don't get there. But once you get there, I knew that there was no way we were going to lose. And
Hmm.
I'm not saying that because we won, but I truly believe that in my heart when it was that time.
Hmm. Um, and that was a crazy team too, because the thing that stood out that, I'm watching that game and all of a sudden I was like, wait, Will Conroy was on that team? I was like, wait, he's a Garfield guy, right? Like, yeah.
He was a freshman. Well, he split his time. He's 2 years at Rainier Beach, 2 years at Garfield. He got a state championship from Rainier Beach.
Hmm.
Great freshman, too. Firecracker. Played hard. Actually got in the game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, and I don't know, it's still that group, right? Like those years, kind of what y'all started around here, or what maybe like took to the next level. When I think about when I think about you and Jamal and Will and some of those other guys, like specifically talking about Beach, to then see how that sort of grew, really sort of the legacy of Seattle high schools, right? Like it kind of started to blow up from there, particularly like when then Jamal was sort of like bringing everybody up with him, right?
Yeah, well, he was a different type of player. Like, it's like, but I like to give a lot of credit to Doug Wren, too, at O'Day. What really was able to put Seattle on the map as far as the AAU world went. And then with Jamal coming and them being able to compete, it was just a fun thing. O'Day went 29-0 in 97.
Hmm.
So for us to come in and Jamal being a newcomer and setting the stage, and we beat them twice that year. and dethrone them as far as being the champions. And just it was just Rainier Beach is no longer something that was talked about. Like Mike Bethea is creating a legacy now.
Hmm.
Man. And
Hmm.
that's the first one. So very special when it's always your first one. And you look back now, he has 9. It's crazy.
Well, and it's crazy when you think about too, um, now like being a player for that one and then being at the school for the new gym, right? Like, I mean, that makes me feel old, but there's also like a special like that only, like I got emotional at that event seeing Jamal get emotional. So I can only imagine what it was like for everybody, yourself and everybody else there.
Honestly, Mason, it's still surreal to me. I feel like we're not supposed to be in there. Like I'm going in there, I'm like, what school is this? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? We're just accustomed to it being a certain way for so long. That's all we knew. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So to see the beautiful edifice that's been provided that we fought for, you know what I'm saying? That the powers that be fought for us to be in that position to have that facility that they named after Coach Mike is only right. It's definitely emotional. It just gives you mixed feelings. Like you're excited, truly excited because it's new. But when you think about the history and the tradition, it was all built in that other gym. So it's
Hmm.
like now you got to create new history.
Hmm. Is that like kind of describe because that's the one thing I'm thinking about too is you know, I almost wish that the new gym or the old gym was still there, like just sort of like almost like use it as whatever you use it for, an auxiliary gym, but that it's like preserved, right? But so it's got to be kind of like bittersweet that that gym is gone, but then you have this palace now.
It's very bittersweet. Nate Robinson said to me the other day, Dave, what if they would have just left the old gym and they just made it like a museum of the history?
Hmm.
I'm like, bro, I don't know why nobody never even thought about saying that. We were just
Hmm.
so excited about new, but didn't know how we would really feel once new came. But it
Hmm.
said, man, I would have put all my 3 dunk trophies in there of winning the dunk contest. I'm like, you said Jamal could put his 6 mans in there. I'm
Hmm.
man, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not my call, but if we had a choice, that would have been a beautiful thing. But it is still when I go there, it's just like, wow, this is us now.
Hmm. It was cool, like when I heard that that they saved parts of the floor to put, like I think they saved the Jamal Crawford court, right, to put it in the locker room.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that to me, that's cool. Like that you at least get to preserve that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, and then to transition a little bit, I've been thinking about Nate and Jamal a lot because of their Knicks history. And, I got my Indiana Pacers hat on here after what happened last night.
Halliburton.
And so I'm not going to gloat because my respect for those guys and what they did in a Knicks uniform.
Right?
Luckily, when they played, the Pacers were trash, so it didn't matter. Um, but when you think like I keep when I saw Jamal at the dedication and I keep seeing him on these podcasts, and the thing that blows me away is that it's the message is always the same, right? Like he would he would be doing this regardless, and his commitment, I know you have the same commitment. Um, like where does it come from? Like what is it about him that, like obviously I don't know him that well, but I feel like if I called him and was like, dude, I'm in trouble, he would call me back, and like so I can only imagine what it's like for everyone else.
Well, he believes that he was put here on this earth to give, and so he doesn't give with intentions. He gives because he truly wants to help. He'll give somebody the shirt off his back. It's just it's who he is. That's his makeup. I mean, That's his genetics. He's just been fortunate enough to be really, really talented at the sport of basketball. So he got to actually be able to touch more people because of his situation. But that's just who he is. He's one of one.
Mhm,
Uh, one of the kindest hearts you'd ever meet that cares about people and the betterment of people.
mhm. Do you think that is that just a natural thing within him, or did he pick that up somewhere along the way? Because, it seems like there are so many people like that that come through that program, and I'm just curious what like did Coach Mike start that? Did Jamal take it to the next level? Like how do you see that?
Well, Coach Mike is one of the most selfless people I've ever met. He does it um, for the kids, and like I mean, it's obviously I think he has some rubbing off on us all with being the father figure more than just a coach. You know what I'm saying? But Jamal has had that mechanism for forever
Mhm,
that, you know, if I eat, you eat, or if I have a piece of bread, I'm gonna give you half. We're gonna make
mhm,
sure we're struggling together. You know what I'm saying? He does never likes people to feel like to be mistreated or to take advantage of.
mhm. Would you say when it comes to loyalty that he is as loyal a person as you could meet?
Man, he's built off of loyalty. But so is Coach Mike. You know what I'm saying? So that's like I said, he helped us raise us in our upbringing. So loyalty is everything.
Mhm.
Loyalty is everything.
Do you like, and I find it interesting because I think, if you're just a basketball fan, maybe you obviously probably don't get to see Jamal and for what he does in the community if you're not paying attention, right? But if you're just kind of a fan that's just followed the game and you see how many different teams he played on, right? Like I think maybe you wouldn't have it'd be hard to like, it'd be sort of like, well, why did he play for so many different teams, right? When like he has that like special quality.
Um, the honest answer I'll give you that Mason is the NBA is a business.
Mhm.
So the greatest players have been traded. There's a couple that never moved, but in this era of basketball, they move around depending on situations on upper management or players that want people. You know what I'm saying? So he was he kind of did it all when it comes to that, and I think that's more of the business side of the NBA.
Mhm.
Up to him, he'd probably stay in one place,
Mhm.
kind of how he moves.
Mhm.
Uh, but it's the nature of the business.
That's sort of the thing, I mean, I guess that's the interesting part for me is that when I look back and watch, like when you see all the videos of everything that he did, it's sort of to me, I'm always like, it's cool that he won all those six man of the year awards, but to me, he was on a different level. Like that was he's as talented as any of the players that I looked up to growing up. I mean, there's like, obviously there's Jordan and LeBron, but as far as like talent goes, he's like I've seen him do things that I haven't ever seen anyone else do.
He's created a lot of moves that the NBA currently uses now and players use now. No, he's like I said, he's one of one. He doesn't play like anybody. He has his own style. He goes to the beat of his own drum. He's not moved based off of what status you have. He's going to treat everybody from the biggest star in the room to the person that's the smallest that may not seem that they mean as much, but
Mhm,
he'll feel like they're the star.
mhm,
That's just his character, man.
mhm. And he could still go out. I bet if you put him in a game today, he could still go out and get 15.
You give him 2 weeks to 3 weeks to get in shape, he can give you 20
Yeah.
in the NBA still right
Oh
now.
yeah. Yeah. No, I like
He,
and oh go ahead.
no, I said easy,
Yeah.
easy.
And because he still plays a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't shake the itch.
hmm I don't think, I mean, I still, I'm not good. I mean, I was okay at one point, but
Right.
I can't, like just every time I touch a basketball, it's like there's a special feeling, like I just want to go play.
Yeah, I don't have that feeling anymore. I used to have it, but I enjoy being able to teach my sons and these players, these athletes, what I know. I
Mhm.
straight, but as far as playing, I don't have the itch to do that, and my feet hurt too bad afterwards. We're 45 now, man, so it's it's okay.
I know. I'm about to turn 44 next month, or actually in a couple of weeks. So
Right.
I feel you. I feel you on that. I was joking with my trainer the other day, and I was like, "Hey, I was like, what's it gonna take for me at 44 to be able to dunk one time in my, like, can you get me into shape so that I can do it one time?" And I don't know if he was just feeding my ego, but he's like, let's see what we can do."
Tell you good luck with that. For sure.
I won't put any money on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't.
I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support.
No, no doubt.
I know, I'm just kidding. Um, so how old are your kids?
My oldest son Royal is 16, and my son Sire is 13. He'll be 14 here May 31st. And my lovely princess Ayers Rain is 9.
Okay. And do your boys play hoops?
My son Royal plays at Rainier Beach,
Okay.
and Sire will be entering high school in the fall.
Is that is that strange for you to now be coaching your kids?
Well, I coach my son's eighth grade Rotary team. My young,
Okay.
so I've coached him for the last 2 years. I'm not dad when it comes to that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm Coach Dave, and
Hmm.
so I've kind of waited for this all my life for them to grow up to have the opportunity and being able to do it and be involved with them with that. And it's a beautiful thing because I have a relationship that has nothing to do with basketball with my kids. I'm their dad first. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
So this is just icing on the cake.
Hmm.
Sometimes they don't like me, sometimes they love me, but I mean that's what happens with coaches. So I get it.
But from a standpoint of, like it's one thing to go from player at a school to coach, and then now to go from player to coach to now coach of your kids at the same school, right? Like that's a transition right there.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, it's in the beginning I was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? But it's all good. I love
Mhm.
I love it.
And then to have, would it mean, obviously the most recent championship is special, all of them are special, but to win a title with your kids and Jamal's son on the same team, like would that take it to another level?
What I mean, just it's just more icing on the cake, man. I've been blessed and fortunate for Coach Mike to allow me to be a part of this staff in order to help build. You know what I'm saying? To be a tool in the system to help build with him. You know what I'm saying? He's imparted so much knowledge of this game into me. You know what I'm saying? So I look at everything as just a blessing, Mason. Like yeah, it's beautiful, like I said. But the thing is to just be able to know that my kids are with me and they're having fun is even the more important part, you know?
Hmm. Hmm. And then actually, and to be able to then have that special moment to do all this in that gym.
Absolutely. They got it way better than we had it. Is what
What was it what was the roughest part? Was it the locker room that was the hardest part of that gym,
um the hardest part to let go or just the hard
or just like the place that kind of needed the most improvement, right? Like I mean the court the gym had its own ambiance, right? But some of the other facilities could
I'm
probably have used a
I'll be honest with you, and I'll be 100% honest. I thought everything was great.
yeah.
That was a part of who we were.
Hmm.
Have our locker room area back there, and we come out of that back room area, and it's wartime.
Hmm.
It's it's just now things have just been upgraded. Like I thought stuff was good. I mean, we're used to being in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? It never was a thing that that bothered me too much. Just
Hmm.
think speak for myself. So
Hmm. Yeah, it was just I guess it's like home, right? Like,
we like dim lights back there because when we
yeah.
bright lights, it's showtime. It comes like Jack Nicholas is it's showtime. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a part of it. You know, we go in the back and you get ready, you get dressed, you listen to your music, and then it's time for war.
Hmm.
That's all we knew.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of games and that it just, there's just a lot of the first time I interviewed Jamal was at that in that gym when I'd written a story for the Times about, when the home team was like really becoming a thing. And to just see, all the guys that came through there. And I was kind of I didn't really get I don't think I ever got to watch Nate play in high school. But that sort of that next, the Stewart twins and CJ Giles and Rio and all those guys, that was I don't know. It is going to be interesting to go to a first game, in that I will say I'm going to be from a photographer standpoint, the lighting in that gym is legit. Yeah, so that from that standpoint, I'll be happy, but it will be strange walking into that gym on game day, for the first time.
It's gonna be the same thing for me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, you practice there and you're there, but I mean, the game is gonna be different. It's just not the walls are not enclosing on you. It's like natural lighting. It's
Mhm.
bleachers are big and they look comfortable and they're wide. It's a whole different deal.
Yeah.
But guess what? We have to adjust because we got to defend this championship.
Well, and as we wrap this up, that's where, on that note, you guys lose some legit talent. You bring back some legit talent. What's this team going to look like next season?
Let's get Coach Mike his 10th.
Mhm.
The team is going to be, you bring back a core group where you got the Manise brothers, you got Trey, Morris, you got Knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You have JJ's coming in, obviously. Um, and it just doesn't stop. We just continue to build and to get better and to do what we know we need to do in order to be successful. Like a lot of these guys, the good thing is these guys were on this team and they played major minutes last year. So
Mhm.
what it takes to get there.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying? Like obviously you lose Jalen, you use Caden, Niel, Maceo. Um, those guys were huge factors, but these guys play some really good minutes. So
Mhm.
it takes so they shouldn't be afraid of that. That
Mhm.
we've been there and
Mhm.
battle tested. So that's huge when you have a group that's been battle tested to come back and defend
Mhm.
the championship.
How good could Dre be? I mean, he seems like the sky is the limit for that kid.
The extreme talent they can shoot.
Mhm.
He have his hit. I'll put it to you like this. I believe that at the end of his senior year, he'll have his plethora of colleges to choose from where he wants to go to school.
Mhm.
So
And the last player question, how good can JJ be as a freshman and beyond?
Jamal Crawford 2.0.
He
So,
does look a lot like his dad when he plays.
so you heard it here.
Yeah,
He got talent.
yeah. No, he like you. I mean, they look like just everything. I'm like, oh, there's no mistaking that that's Jamal Crawford's kid.
Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah,
My nephew's tough.
yeah.
He's tough.
Well, I'm glad we got to do this. I can't thank you enough for how much kindness you have extended to me over the years. You, Coach Mike, Jamal, you guys have all been very, welcoming all the time. And which is as someone who has been a sports writer, that's not always the case, right? So, yeah. So thank you. I
But
really,
but we understand though, Mason. I can discern spirits, just of how people which are good people, and we know you've always kept it 100, and you
Mhm.
were always doing your job, but it was good because you have um a wonderful mind with how you were doing that with the times. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I hate that the paper has kind of gone away because it was always good to be able to look in the times to see yourself in there. It was a big deal to us when we played in high school. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
When you carried it, and it was good. It was big, good business for the city to see around the globe who's hooping. And
Yeah.
if not, then why aren't you hooping when you're supposed to be? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So we miss it, but no, we appreciate you, everything that you've done to cover us. It's a lot. It's love and respect, bro.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And hopefully, hopefully my little platform keeps growing enough that I can fill some of that void. And regardless, I'll keep showing up because I love it. So,
Yeah, you're addicted to the game.
yeah.
We've got that same disease.
Exactly, exactly. And that's not going anywhere. I actually, yesterday I had to coach my son's baseball game, so I recorded the Pacers Knicks game, and I basically turned off my phone because I didn't want any updates. I told all the parents in the stands, I was like, I don't care if you know or I don't know that I'm a Pacers fan, but if you say one thing about that game, I'm gonna lose my mind. And I almost turned it off. I almost turned it off. And then I was like, you know what? They've done too many crazy things. I gotta watch it till the end. And at about midnight, I screamed when Halliburton hit that shot. My whole house was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, hey, like I'm sorry,
Halliburton has been big ever since they said he was the most overrated player in the NBA. He's showing you that I'm not overrated.
exactly.
I'm not overrated at all. No, that was huge.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It'll be a fun series.
yeah, we'll see. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I'll take all this craziness as it happens.
I know that's right. But that's the playoffs. That's what makes people greatness. That's what makes greatness.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Well, again, I'll let you go, but I appreciate the time and thanks so much for joining me.
hey man, I appreciate it. Anytime you need anything from me, man, I'm here, man.
Absolutely.
Blessings to you.
All right. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right.